This conference will now be recorded.
Hi guys, good morning everyone. Let us start the today's session now. So it's been almost 6 to 7 minutes now. So now let us start the session. So if you can have a brief overview and relief of what we have discussed in yesterday's class, we have discussed about the Excel operations and how do we perform all those Excel kind of operations in TOSCA. That is what we have seen in yesterday's class. And in the today's class, we are going to discuss something on how do we perform PDF operations or how do we automate the PDF, right? It is very simple. And then we will be seeing some files operations like file standard modules. First of all, why we need to learn about automating the PDF. So I'll just give you a simple example. So when you are automating an application, either it is a web application or e-commerce application, and you have purchased a product, let us say after purchasing of the product an invoice has been generated. Invoice has been generated in the PDF format. So what we will be doing basically, when the PDF has been generated, and what does the PDF contains invoice means whatever the product we have bought, what is the price of that product, right? And your name, address details, all those things will be present in the invoice, right? So when I try to verify the same kind of thing, so I can do it manually, but when I want to do it from the automation point of view, so why I need to verify these things is, so whatever the customer is giving inputs in the registration page, I mean his address or his names, or during the checkout process, right? We are giving or entering the address details and shipping details, right, during the checkout process. I mean, whatever the address we have given at that point, that should be verified with the invoice which is getting generated, right? Both should be one and the same. So whatever the values you have been giving input, you will buffer it, and once the PDF has been generated, you will try to automate the PDF and verify whether the same content is present or not in this PDF. So that is why a few scenarios or few situations in one or the other case, some of the projects will have to automate the PDF in order to verify the invoices or another PDFs which are getting generated. So to accommodate this situation, we are going to learn about how to automate the PDF. So to automate the PDF, it is very simple. So what I'm trying to do is, I'm going to the module section and I'm just giving a right click and I'm scanning the PDF. Can you see here? I'm just scan PDF. So earlier, I mean, before the versions of 12, we do not even have the option of automating the PDF. So PDF automation was not that easy before version 12 and all those things. Now see, when I try to see, because now PDF is not an application, right? I try to scan a PDF because I selected PDF. TOSCA tried to open me a dialog box. I mean the file explorer window, which is asking to select a PDF, right? It is asking me to select any PDF which is present in my system. For example, okay, this is, I think by default I have used this last time, I guess. So by default, let me use this. Okay, I have just selected this. Okay, after selecting this, I'm just clicking on open. What I have done, I have just scanned the PDF and I have selected which PDF to automate. So now what has happened? Now can you see? Now this is the PDF which I want to automate and it has got loaded successfully. I've just tried to zoom in. Yeah. So this is what the PDF I just opened and I want to scan this. So now what I'm trying to do is I want to identify, it's a simple thing. Whenever you are scanning an application or whatever it might be, main intention is to identify the controls in the PDF. So it's very simple. So if you want to identify the controls, there are different things here. I mean, if you want to identify any text, you need to select here. If you want to identify any image, you need to select here. If you want to identify if there is any table present in the PDF, if you want to identify that, you can select this here. For example, if I want to identify the image, I'll just click on this and I'll decide what is the image. For example, this is the image. I just want to verify whether this PDF contains an image. Can you see? Automatically, I'm just selecting the area. It is not a proper control, right? So I'm just selecting the area. I have selected the image and I have selected the area where the image is present. and you can see to the right hand side, PDF area 1 is the image. Can you see here type column saying that it is an image. For example, if I want to identify a text message, what is the text I want to identify? For example, if I want to identify my name, right? Can you see the PDF area too? I have got my name, but can you see the type? This is a text message. For example, I'll just zoom in more and I'll try to get the uh, employee ID of mine. This is again, I'm just trying to identify the control where that it is present. See, this is the PDF area 4. It is as simple as such. For example, if I want to identify a date, I'll just click on this. This is the date which I want, right? March 31st, 2021, right? Can you see now what I'm doing is, for example, if I zoom out, right, these are the four areas. Now this is the area one. If I select this, see, this image is getting highlighted. If I select click on area 2, can you see my name is getting highlighted? If I click on third area, this is the employee ID which I have scanned. And if I click on fourth area, this is simply nothing but the date which I have identified. That is what. Right now in this application, or I mean in this PDF, I do not have any table to demonstrate you. If you have any table to identify, you can also select the table and you can select where the table is present, how many rows and columns. Again, you can, it is up to you, the normal process to perform the table operations. It is as simple as such, right? For examples, let us consider this. I have identified these four controls. So the first control is, it is an image. I can have a option. I have an option to image. Okay. The second content is my name. So employee name. And what is the third content? It is an employee ID. For fourth content is relieving date. Something, whatever it might be. So I have an option to rename the names of the controls that I have identified using this PDF. And it is again, it is a same options. You have known this text, image, and table. If you want to save, you can save. And then if you want to scan another PDF document, you can click on this. This is a zoom in, zoom out. And the most important thing that you want to see here is show content preview. If you click on this, can you see what is the exact content that you have? For example, this is a relieving date. The relieving date, this has got identified, and what is the content that you have scanned? March 31st, 2021. If I click on employee ID, can you see 715644 is the employee ID which I have identified here. And this is my employee name, Madhav. And you can see the image. See, can you see the image that I have identified? So now by using these options, hide content preview, show content preview, you can easily verify whether you have scanned the control properly or not in the PDF, right? This is how we will identify the controls in a PDF. We will try to identify, right? I'm just clicking on this save button, and as soon as I clicked on save, my module has been created successfully, and I'll just close this text scanner. Now can you see a new module has been created, E drive. I mean, it is also telling me where the exact PDF is also located. E drive, my profile, Tech Mahindra uploading. This is the relieving letter dot PDF. This is the location it has stored. Can you see here? What are the controls that you have scanned? Image. Can you see the image Tech Mahindra, employee name, employee ID, and relieving date? What is the value range? Whatever the values that are been present, those will be the value ranges now. And in addition, you are also seeing some other two attributes. What are the target PDF and PDF password? Why are we seeing this target PDF and PDF password is few PDFs will be password encrypted, right? You need to use the password in order to open the PDF. So in that kind of situations, you can also use this PDF password in order to open the PDF and perform your actions. So now what I'll do is I'll just simply use this module in the test case section. Sorry. So a new test case has been created, and what I shall do that I will name the test case as PDF operations, right? And I'll change the work state to in work. Now, as soon as I've changed this, you can see this. Yeah. What is your target PDF? Where is your target PDF present? I mean, this is also not a user interface, right? I mean, like Excel and the PDF, these are not the user interface applications. So these applications will be running in the backend. It is not like a web application on how, like or a demo web shop, like how it is executing in our front end. So what is a target PDF? Target PDF means where exactly your PDF is present. This is the path, right? I will just copy this path. Where my PDF is present, E drive, my profile tech Mahindra offboarding. This is the path where exactly my PDF was present. And do you need any password? For example, right now, my PDF, which I have scanned, doesn't need any password decryption or encryption. It doesn't require any password to open. So I won't give this attribute. If your PDF requires a password, right? Then you can give this whatever the password you want to open, you can give this here and you can do it. And the image, now I have scanned, I just want to verify whether the image is present or not. Whether the image is present or not, exist equal to true, verify. And employee name, I'm just verifying. And employee ID, whether I'm just verifying. And relieving date, right? I'm just selecting the values and I'm just executing it. I will just execute and show it to you, run in Scratchbook. So automating the PDF is very simple actually. Just identify or scan the controls, whatever you want. Just close them and execute. Can you see it has got passed? You can see here. Now, is it clear for everyone about how do we automate the PDF?
హలో మాధవ్ అన్న.
Yes, Nanda.
హలో,
Yes, sir.
ఇక్కడ మనం పీడిఎఫ్ టార్గెట్ పీడిఎఫ్ ఉంది కదా, అక్కడ మాత్రం మనం క్రెడెన్షియల్ పాత్ వచ్చేసి మాడ్యూల్స్ పాత్ ఉంది కదా, ఇక్కడ సేవ్ చేసేయాలి, అక్కడ కాపీ చేసి ఇక్కడ సేవ్ చేయాలా?
మాడ్యూల్ పాత్ కాదండి, మీ పీడిఎఫ్
ఇక్కడ
ఎక్కడ, నా పీడిఎఫ్ ఎక్కడ ఉందో అది ఇవ్వాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నేను మాడ్యూల్లో ఉంది కాబట్టి అక్కడ తీసుకున్నాను. మాడ్యూల్ ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నా పీడిఎఫ్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది, ఈ డ్రైవ్, మై ప్రొఫైల్, టెక్ మహీంద్రా, ఆఫ్ కోడింగ్, ఇది నా పీడిఎఫ్. సో ఈ
ఓకే
పాత నేను కాపీ చేసుకోవాలి ఇక్కడ. ఆల్రెడీ ఇక్కడ నాకు కనిపిస్తుంది కాబట్టి నేను మళ్ళీ ఇంకొక వెళ్ళి మళ్ళీ ఎందుకు పాత అంతా నావిగేట్ అయ్యి కాపీ చేసుకోవడం ఎందుకని చెప్పి నేను డైరెక్ట్గా ఇక్కడి నుంచి కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేసుకున్నాను. ఎక్కడి నుంచి తీసుకున్నా కానీ వాల్యూ ఒకటే కదా.
ఓకే
ఓకేనా?
ఓకే ఓకే అండి.
ఎనీ మోర్ డౌట్స్ ఫర్ ఎనీవన్?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So now, coming to the second point, as I told you, we need to learn some data expressions. So why do we need to learn some data expressions is, I'll tell you. So we have learned some dynamic expressions already. So how do we generate some dynamic values, expressions, and all these things we have learned. Now, the most important point is date expressions in TOSCA. Why do we need to learn these date expressions in TOSCA? This is also important from interview point of view, right? And it is also important. For example, now as you have seen in the test case, you have verified the date as March 31st, 2021. But if they say that, can you verify the same date by using the date expressions, date dynamic expressions? So what is a date dynamic expression? How do you use that? How do you verify the date? It is simple. So now what I'll do, I'll just go back. What is a date expression or a date dynamic expression in TOSCA is simple. I'll write you the syntax. Curly brace open, date, as it is. All the syntaxes starts with curly brace, date, square bracket. But here it is not single square bracket. Here, three square brackets, close the curly bracket. And now what is this first square bracket? The first square bracket is base date. What is the second square bracket? The second square bracket is offset. And what is the third square bracket? It is a format. Means now these are the three different square brackets which we will be using in order to write a dynamic expression on the date. Simple curly brace open, date. One square bracket stands for base date. Second square bracket stands for offset. Third square bracket stands for format. So now first of all, what is this base date? Right? I mean, from which date you want to perform action or you want to write an expression, right? From which date? For example, as I'm saying that I will be performing dynamic expressions or date expressions in TOSCA. So from so on so particular date, I will be performing some actions, right? So on from which date you will be performing the actions or from which date you will be writing an expression, it depends upon the base date. And what is this offset? Offset means the calculations you want to perform. For example, if I say that, can you please generate a date which is 2 months forward from now? What is today's date actually? December 21st, right? If I say 2 months from now, January 21st and February 21st. So this is the calculation. So whatever the calculation that I want to perform, I will do it in the second square bracket, right? So what I'm saying, from today, can you please generate me a date which is 2 months forward from now? Means my base date is today. In my first square bracket, I will mention my base date. In the second square bracket, I will do the calculation. And the third square bracket is the format. What is this format? Means in which format you want the output. Sorry, what is this? In which format we want output. So based upon these things, basically we will be performing the date expressions. For example, as I told you, as a simple example, I want to generate a date from today. Can you please generate me a date which is 2 months forward from now? So how do you write a syntax? Curly brace open, date, square bracket, square bracket, square bracket, close. What is the base date? Today is the base date. So you can mention today as a base date means the first square bracket, the advantage of using is you can leave it as an empty. If you leave it as an empty, it will consider today as a base date. Are you getting my point? If you leave the first bracket as an empty, by default, TOSCA considers that today is the base date. For example, if I ask you, can you please generate, from yesterday? Not from today, or else from December 1st, generate a date which is 2 months forward. Means I'm specifically mentioning December 1st. Means what is a December 1st? This is a December 1st, right? Means this will become my base date. But if I say today as a base date, then I can leave it as a blank. And what is the calculation they are asking? They are asking 2 months forward date from now. Means I'm going 2 months in future. In future means I just use plus 2 months. Capital M stands for months. So this is the calculation I want to perform. And what is the output they're asking? For example, if they're asking the output in DD, MM, YY, sorry, YYYY, if this is the format, you'll use this format, or DD, MM, YY, this is the format, you can use this format, or YYYY, this is the format, or sometimes DD, MM, YYYY. So this is the format. So like this, I will be using basically the date expressions, right? Is the date expression clear for everyone? How do we write?
Yes, sir.
Now, what I will do is this with this date we have. I can also, instead of giving this hard-coded or fixed value, I can also verify this date through my date expression. So how do I write my syntax? Curly brace open, date. three square brackets, close it, and I want to verify whether my PDF is containing March 31st, 2021 or not. So what should I do? So from today, I need to go back to March 31st. Means today I am executing this test case. So today is my base date. So I will leave the first square bracket as an empty because I want to go to March 31st from today. So my today is a base date, so I left it as an empty. So what is the second thing that I need to perform an action? I mean offset means calculation means I need to go to March. How many months I need to go back to March? 9 months, right? So today is December. I'll go back November, October, September, August, July, June, May, April, March means I need to go 9 months back minus 9 right? If you go 9 months back, what is the date you will get? Today is December 21st. If you go exactly 9 months back, what is the date you will get? March 21st, right?
Yes.
Right? Then what should I do? I'm getting March 21st. Either I can do plus 10D. Means I am saying to Tosca, you please go 9 months backward plus 10 days. Means minus 9 months means March 21st plus 10 days means March 31st. Right? I can use this or I can also use this. I'll go 8 months backward. 8 months backward I'll go. If I go 8 months backward, what the date I'll get? April 21st. From April 21st, if I want to go to March 31st, what I will do? Minus 20 days, right? Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
So it is up to your convenience. So if you want to go 8 months backward and 20 days, you can use this. And I have gone and performed some calculation. And what is the output format they're asking? They're asking in this format. So they're asking March, complete month they are asking. So what you need to do is M, M. Now see, if I give only two M's, you will only get the output as, for example, this is a 12th month, right? You will get 12. If I give three M's, you will get DEC. If I give four M's, you will get the complete month. Now, they're asking the output in the complete month format, March. So what I will do, I'll give four M's. I'll show you the difference. Four M's means I'll get the complete month. Then after that, I have a space. I'll give a space. They're asking the date. Date means DD, and then they're asking a comma, right? I'll just give the comma over here, and again there is a space. I'll give again a space, and they're asking the output 2021 means YYYY. So this is the format which they are asking us, right? So I'll just instead of directly using this, I'll use this, right? This is the date syntax. I'll just execute this and see. So it has failed. Now let us see why it has failed. Can you see? Okay, D is not a supported unit for data. Okay, I forgot when I'm typing. I need to write here small d. Small d, sorry, small d. D stands for, I think then Y is also causing an issue. I think small y. Yeah, I think I need to use this because caps lock is on. Please remember, you need to use small d for dates. Now let us see whether this works or not. I'm just saving it. I'm just re-executing it once again. Let me see whether it is gonna pass or fail. So it is failed, still it is getting failed. Now let us see why it is failing.
Month also you can capital letters, sir.
See here, no. Yeah, can you see verification has failed? Whatever the value you are expecting with the syntax you are writing, it is going till April 1st, 2021. But the date is you need to go to March 31st. I mean, I need to increase one more day, right? I mean, I need to go 21 days backward. I'll now execute. I'm going 8 months backward and 21 days backward. Now, can you see the verification has passed? Let us see. Can you see here? March expecting March 31st and actual value is also March 31st. Now you can perform. I'll try to show you the differences. For example, now this is a format, right? If I say I want the output in this format, dd/mm, sorry, capital M I need to give mm/yy. Please remember one thing, capital M is used for months, small m is used for minutes. For example, I need not run this. Now I can just give a right click. There is an option called translate value. Now can you see what is the output you are expecting in this format? This is a basic format, right? 3103 2021. So whatever format you want to write, you can write. For example, if I give hyphen, now see, so it is up to my convenience in which format I want the output I can generate. See, 3103 2021. Now as I told you, if I give 2 m's, I'm just getting the month in 03. For example, if I give 3 m's, I'll translate the value. Can you see? 31st MAR means not the complete month. For example, if I give 4 m's and I'll show you translate the value, you can see the complete month. So if you give all 4 m's, you'll get the complete month. If you give 3 m's, you will get the first three letters, and if you give only 2 m's, you'll get the 03. And for example, if I give only 1 m, see, 31 3 2021. So it is up to your situation, how your application needs the value, how you want to generate such values. So basically you can use this, and you can use these expressions as per your need. So basically this is also important from interview point of view. They will ask you, do you know date expression? I want to generate a date, I want to go 8 months back, 20 days forward. So you can use this date, base date, offset, format, right? Is it clear for everyone?
Yes, Madhav.
Yes, sir. Okay, so that's what actually I have not explained this date expression during the time of dynamic expressions itself, because at that situation we haven't got any situation to verify a date or input a date. You can also input the date. If they ask you to input a dynamic date, you can use whatever you want, just give some values, right? But now the situation has come to verify some value so that I can easily explain you properly, right? Instead of predefined verification. So this is about the PDF operations and the date expression which I want to show it to you. Now after this, as I have told you, after completing this PDF operations and the date expression, I told you that there are also file operations. Like it is also standard modules. I'll go to the standard modules. See, can you see here a folder called file operations? There are many standard modules to work on these files, right? So why we need to use these files? I will just give you a small example. I'll show you how do we how do we use the file operation standard modules, because this might be asked in an interview. Do you know how to automate? How do you use file operations? How do you perform PDF operations? They will ask you. Now I'll try to show you simple examples one after the other. So the first thing is, there are many modules. Out of that, I'll try to, you can also practice it. It is very simple, but I'll give you an overview how it looks like. So the first thing is, we do not have a file created. So what I'll do is tbox read or create a file. So I'll just use this standard module in my test case. Tbox read or create a file means what it is asking is, TOSCA is asking, giving us an option to read a file which is already created or to create a file which is not there. So if I want to create a file, it is asking me a directory where I want to create. For example, in this folder, I want to create a file. This is the directory. For example, this is the directory, right? I have mentioned that the directory in this drive, you please create a file. And what is the name of the file that I want to create? Test underscore file. Along with that, you should also give the extension. For example, if I want to create a simple text file, I just created a .txt. And what is the text I want to write? For example, I shall write today is Tuesday. We are learning PDF operations. For example, I am writing this content. If you want to write this content, you can write this content, or sometimes I'll give you a scenario. For example, you have automated an application, you have purchased a product, and you have stored the order ID. Now the requirement is your manager or the people are asking you, I need to store all the order IDs which are generated into one file. Are you getting my point? Whatever the purchases, now see basic example, now Amazon is there, daily lakhs of customers will be purchasing products through Amazon, but Amazon should also be keeping track of the all the order IDs or purchase orders which the customers are buying, right? If someone comes back, they will be maintaining it properly. So in a similar way, if someone asks you whatever the purchases that you have done, I need to store all the order IDs into one place or into a file. Right now I'm just storing the hard coded content. I will also show you that. And because order ID is already buffered, now you can use buffer of order ID, this content will be stored. So it becomes as easy as such. Now there is another attribute called encoding. Basically, what is the encoding? Unified text format. These are the standard formats, international standard organization and unified text coding formats for the text files. So I'm just using UTF-8 normal, which is a standard which we basically use, and override. Right now I do not have a file created, so I won't overwrite. When you give the overwrite as a true, I mean, if you want to overwrite the existing content with some new content, then you can give the overwrite as a true. But now the situation is, I will just keep the overwrite as a false because there is no need for me to give the overwrite content. Now I'll just execute this and see, and then show it to you how this happens. I'm saying here I'm going to create a test underscore file, which is a text file. Can you see once it is passed? Can you see a file is automatically created in your machine and in your local drive, whatever the drive you have given, and if you open the file, you can see the content. Today is Tuesday, we are learning PDF operations. So whatever the content you have given, you can do it. Now, for example, if I want to override the content, I'll give it as a true. And instead of this hard-coded content, I want to store my product ID buffer of, where is the order ID? Order ID, right? I'm just executing this, running it in the scratchbook. Now it will fail, most probably. Passed up successfully, good. Now see what is happening. Open this, can you see here? The existing content has been replaced with a new content. That too, it is also product and order ID. I'm able to store the order ID in a file, right? They will give you an end-to-end scenario. In interview, they will ask you, like, there is an application, you should automate the process. Tell me the process, how do you automate? And after completing the automation, there will be one order ID generated. I want to store that into a file, and there will be one invoice generated. I want to verify the invoice also. Means the PDF files, everything are coming to picture. It is not only you learn to scan the modules and use it is also important to learn some standard modules, right? This is how I'll use this. Right now I have just created and used this tbox read or create file. Now my file is already created in my system. So the next standard module which is helpful is file existence. If I want to verify any file is present in my system or not, these are all situational interview questions. They will ask you, but suppose there is a file in my system. Now I just want to verify whether that file is present in my system or not, right? How do you do that? By using the standard module tbox file existence, I will verify. So I'll just take the directory. It is also asking me the directory. I'll copy it, and what is the file name of the file? Test underscore file. Previously you have created a file. Now You have created a file and reading the file and placing the content, and now you are verifying whether the file is present in your system. I'm just executing it in the Scratchbook. It is easy that it has got passed successfully. Now you can see the result also. Verification was successful. File exists. This is what it is saying. Actual value file exists. I mean that is present in your system. Now you created a file. You verified whether the file is present in the system. Now I want to copy a file. Basically, we does right. We'll copy any files into another location. If you want to make duplicates, I want to copy a file. Now, what is they're asking in the attributes? They're asking the source. What is the source? This is a source. I want to copy this file. Means this is becoming the source for me. And along with that, I need to give the extension and the name also, right? Now, can you see source means I have completely mentioned the path of my file along with the extension. And what is the target directory? I mean, where exactly you want to copy the file. For example, I want to copy the file in local drive G or local drive F. For example, I want to copy here where my profile. I want to copy here F drive my profile here, target directory my profile here. I want to copy the file and target file name copied underscore file dot txt. Do I want to override the content? Basically, when we are copying a file manually, automatically the content will be overwritten, right? But here, if you want to get the same content there, you can give it. If you don't want the content in a copied file, then you can give it as a false. But what is the point of mentioning it as a false? The moment we are copying means we want the same content, right? Then you can give it as a true. So I'm just executing this tbox copy file. Now see here, a new file will be created, copied underscore file, and it contains the same content. Can you see here, copied underscore file? If I open this, can you see the same content has been replicated? So if you want to copy any such kind of files, and you can place it over here. So that is the use of the standard module, tbox copy file. Actually, these are not in a proper order, but I am explaining with a proper order. Now you are creating a file and reading the file. You are verifying that is present in the system, and then you are copying. After copying, now we'll compare the files. If you want to compare, you need to have two files, right? Simple logic. If you want to compare, you want two files. So the first file path is, you can see here, this is the first file path which you want to compare. These are the attributes. What is this one? I'm just copying it completely. And what is the second file path? This is the second file path. And I should also give along with the name and the extension of the file. So now I'm just saying to Tosca, you please verify these two files which are presented at so and so location. Now I'll just execute and see. When I'm verifying the files, it will also verify the content which is also present in the file. So it will say the content is identical. It is not that it is just verifying the file outside. It will also verify the content which is present. If you can see, the content of the files are identical, means they're having the same content. So this is how we basically use the standard module tbox file compare. Now what is the other thing is present? Reading a file existence, copy, delete. It is very simple. Delete a file, no need to explain much on deleting a file. Whatever the file you want to delete, you can delete. For example, if I want to delete this file, delete this copied file in this drive, I want to delete this file in the F drive under my profile. I want to delete this. I'll just execute and see whatever the file I want to delete from my system. I can see no, this will be deleted. Can you see? Automatically this has got deleted, right? So these file operations are as easy as such. Now what is the other thing pending? Image compare. Image compare is very simple, guys. Most of the times we won't compare any images, but if they ask you how do you compare images, you can say I will use a standard module tbox image compare, and I will verify these images: first image file path, second image file path, like how we have done tbox file compare. You can simply do this image compare as well. So this is simple. If you want to practice it, you can practice. What is the other thing pending? File existence done, file compare, delete, copy, read, yeah, append file. This is also one more important thing. For example, what do you mean by append? Append means adding, right? See, each and every time you can't create a new file, right? Every time, basically, we will be using one file and we'll try to upload the content. As I told you earlier, for example, yes, there I want to store all the product order IDs into a file. Means every time it is not like you will create a separate file for separate product, right? All the products will be present in a single file. Now there is a file, right? And you want to add the content into that. What is the file path? Now see me. And for example, this is the, I get this. Where is that? Yes, this is the first file path. And in this file, this is the first file path. In the same file, already some content is there. Now I don't want to replace the content. I want to add additional content. Append means what? Append means addition. Correct? Previously, you created a file, you created and added some data. If you want to overwrite, you give it as a true, means you are replacing the data also. But I'm not replacing now. I want to add some more data. For example, what data I want to add? For example, let us say I want to add some buffer data. I mean, for example, we have some buffers, right? I want to add this employee ID example. So I'll add this to the same file. Now, see this. The interesting point is end with a new line. There are two values, true and false. Now I'll execute this and show it to you and see what is the difference between true and false. If you run with an end with a true, end with a new line true, I'll show you the output where it is that E drive, where it is the file one. E drive TOSCA class. Okay, our batch folder only. Okay, test file. Can you see now what is going to happen? Can you see the value 8034 is coming and sitting next to the content which is already present. This is the content which is already present, but it is coming and sitting here next to this. It is end with a new line, right? But when you give it as a false, actually there is some issue with this. Now you can ask me a question, Madhav. If you say that, can you see optional? True defines that text will be appended with a new line at the end. What they are saying, you can also see here. If I give as a false, actually it is working as a vice versa. Now you can ask me, Mother, end with a new line means it should come and sit in the new line, right? Why it is not coming in the new line? Actually, it is working as vice versa. Already one ticket has been raised to Tricentis. They are working on that. Right? Do not confuse on this. This is working. This is already having some issue. They might be fixing it. So now if I change it to false, for example, now I changed it to false, right? I'll delete this content. Now this is the actual file which you have. I am appending the or adding the one content with an end with a new line false. Now what will happen? It has got passed. So I'll just open this file. Can you see now? The content which you have added has come and sat in the new line. Right? Is it understood for everyone? But I just want to let you know that do not confuse here actually about it, how it is working as a vice versa. Right? It is having some issue, but please remember ending with a new line means it will come and sit in the new line. If you give it as a false, you want to add some data continuously. So if you want to add continuously, you can add it. If you want to start from a next line, give it as a true, it will come and sit in the next line. But now right now as having issue, please, exclude this for some time, right? Keep this a point for some time, but understand from the concept point of view, Is it clear for everyone about this file operations?
Yes, Madhav.
What
Sir,
about?
hello. Sir, I have one doubt only. So this is Sedu here.
Yes, please go ahead.
When using file compare module, it will compare only file name or it will compare content as well. If content is different, or
It will fail.
it will fail.
See, when first of all, if it is comparing the names, what is the point of comparing the name? Obviously, it will fail because my first file path is test underscore file, second file path is copied underscore file. If it is verifying the names, obviously it will fail. Then what is the point of verifying the names of the files? It is verifying the content. Even if I see, now actually this file is not there. So I need to copy a file. I need to run this. Now I am creating a copied file. Okay.
Okay.
Now let me create, I think it has passed. F drive, my profile. See, there is a copied file. Now what should I do? Now there is a copied file. I want to compare it. Now see what is going to happen. I'm just executing this. I have two files located at two different places. It is passed. See the output, what it is saying. Actually, I also told you the content of the files are identical. So it is verifying the content, not the names, right? And if there is a change in the content, for example, this file doesn't have this. Now I want to compare these two files. Now I am comparing these two files located at different locations, but there is some data mismatch. Can you see? Obviously, why we will compare? Verification has failed. Can you see? We do not have the proper values exactly in center. Then you need
Yes,
to
sir.
go back, right?
Yeah, clear, clear, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Any doubts in this to anyone? Anything else from anyone? Okay, good.